Hi guys, how are y'all doing? My name is Iram Raja. Today we're going to do another cool experiment. This one is actually almost like a magic trick. So if you were to make a couple of these solutions ahead of time, you can actually play it as a magic trick in front of your friends. Okay, so let's get started. There aren't too many things we need for this one. Alright, so what do we need? We need 2 glasses that we will fill with water, 2 eggs, water, and some salt. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have my 2 glasses over here. I'm gonna go ahead and fill them about close to halfway, maybe a little bit more than half, with water. Try to add the same amount of water in both of them, okay? Okay, so this looks pretty close. So in the beginning we only need 1, so I'm gonna move the other out of the way. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take a raw egg and I'm going to put this in this glass of water. So what do you guys think is going to happen once I put the egg inside? Let's go ahead and make some guesses. Do you think it's going to float or do you think it's going to sink? Okay, so I think I'm hearing some of you are saying it's going to sink, some of you are saying it may float. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what happens. Now once you put the egg in there, make sure you're very careful because it is a raw egg, so the last thing you want to do is break the egg and make a mess, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put it towards the side, put it in gently. Okay, so for those of you that were saying it's going to sink, you're correct. So the egg actually went and sat at the bottom, all right? Now let's go ahead and take the second glass of water that we had. And to this one, we're actually going to go ahead and add some salt, all right? So I'm going to grab some salt. You need roughly 2 tablespoons of salt, okay? So at this step, it's almost better to add a little bit more salt than less. Just to make sure that our experiment works, okay? Let me get a plastic spoon so it doesn't make a big cut. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix the salt. So the goal is to try to get as much salt in solution as you can. So we don't want a lot of our salt just sitting as a solid at the bottom. We want it to actually dissolve in there, okay? So let's go ahead and dissolve it. Alright, so I think we're almost there. It is a little cloudy, but that's okay. If you were to let it sit, it will go ahead and go back in solution. But for our purposes, I think this is probably good. Alright. So now we're going to go ahead and take another egg and we are going to go ahead and put this in here, okay? So we're going to be very careful again. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to see because the water is kind of cloudy, but hopefully you guys can see. So what happened in this case? So the egg is actually floating, right? So now put these side by side. So in the case of just water, the egg actually sank. In the case of salt water, the egg is actually floating. So that's kind of cool. So if you have both of these solutions made ahead of time, both of them will actually look just like water. So you can trick people. Now, in terms of science, let's talk about what happened. All right. So when we had just water, tap water, and we put the egg in there, the egg is actually heavier. So the science here is we're talking about density. Okay. The way we define density is mass over volume. For the younger kids, you can think of density in terms of weight. So in the case here, egg is actually heavier than water, okay? And that's why when you put the egg in there, it went and it sank, all right? So water is actually less dense, egg is more dense, all right? In the second case, well, we didn't do anything to the egg, right? Egg is the same. We changed the water. So instead of water, we added some salt. So we changed the density of the water. So now what happened? In this case, the water is actually more dense. So that's why the water is at the bottom and now the egg is lighter, so egg is on the top. Okay? So pretty cool. I hope it makes sense. I hope you guys like the video. If you have any feedback for me, please go ahead and let me know. And I hope to make more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys.